Welcome back, everybody, to the podcast. Tonight, we will actually be talking about the Challenge 36 Double Agents. I'm here with Meg Online Survival 2 and Days and Fanguy Online Survival 1. How are y'all doing?
Great.
Dang.
How'd everybody like the first episode?
Well, technically 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But it was solid. Oh my god, it looks good, right? Like all the special effects, the editing looks great.
Wait, did I miss this? Was there a second episode I missed?
There was like
No,
a first episode
like
that was like an introduction.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I saw that.
I didn't watch that.
It was just kind of like their first night getting to know each other, I guess, even though half of them already know each other. But
Yeah.
I was happy to not see them in a bunker this time.
I think
Yeah.
they were happy to not be in a bunker this time.
Yeah.
They're always somewhere that's freezing fucking cold, though. Always. Can
Well,
they
it
go
looks-
somewhere warm? Like, that is the part to me that would suck the most.
I agree.
Oh no, I'm so waiting for the ice water challenges, and I love it.
I'm super glad to not see Jordan. Can I just say that before we get started? I'm so glad Jordan.
Boo.
Not a big Jordan fan.
Boo.
I'm
No.
a Jordan fan. I'm a
I think
Jordan
he's
fan as well.
obnoxious. I can't.
How can you not respect
No,
the guy? He's got one hand and he beasts out and everything.
Yeah, but he
No,
doesn't have to be a douche.
Touche.
He's one of the most racist, misogynistic people on the show, which I hate about him, but him being such a competitor and balling out every single time.
I
do
love Tori, though, so.
See, and I don't know about his personal stuff like Days, apparently, but I like Tori too. So I'm like, I like his girlfriend. I like his competitive spirit, you know?
Bro, go back and watch his season of Real World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, that was a long
It-
time ago, wasn't it?
it's brutal. But anyways, yeah. it
I'm
looks
also
good.
happy not to see Bananas, frankly, and nobody wants to see Bananas anymore.
I'm so surprised Bananas isn't there, but I love Bananas.
I think he'd been perfect for this particular season because there's a lot of weird dynamics.
We don't need him this season.
Eh,
No,
He
I mean, I
he
think it's
just
good to have
won.
a season without
I don't
him.
even dislike him. I just sometimes you need a rest.
Dude, that dude's got so much shit going on. Like, he has turned the whole TV personality thing into a legit career. So props to him.
Well, for this first podcast, I kind of want to mostly go over the duos and then talk about the cast, and then we could talk about the episode later. I mean, we could talk about the episode as we go along with the cast, but the first duo that I'm going to talk about, we talked about Tori without Jordan. She is with Cory. So what do you think about this duo, Meg?
I mean, I think they're strong, and I think Tori will help Cory.
I would agree with that. And how do you think she's going to be without Jordan? Did that help her or hurt her?
I think they'll help her for sure. I think he controls her game too much.
Yeah, he also makes her a target, Dazed.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue with being on a team. I mean, I guess they're a duo as far as them being in a relationship, but he's such a target. He brings it along with them if you're his teammate. With Cory, I don't particularly care for Cory, but dude, him and Nelson have so many connections in the house. Just those two and the Young Bucks. They brought in Fessy. Fessy has connections to all the Big Brother crew. Like, that's a great person for her to be with because that will help her get farther in the game.
Okay.
My favorite team, actually, as a unit. Because, I say that I use the term young buck in my daily life, like completely on the reg. So these are like my dudes. I've always liked the Cory, Nelson, Hunter, young buck team. So, and Tori, I think without Jordan is super likable. I think everybody kind of likes Tori. So I think without having that baggage weighing Jordan down, this is a team, and as Dave said, the connections with Young Buck and pulling Fessy in, Big Brother Alliance, Young Buck connection. It's a really strong unit moving forward. So I have a lot of faith in this team. Though it is, I don't know if y'all saw the rumors that maybe Tori cheated on Jordan with somebody on this cast this season.
Probably Cory.
I'm wondering if it's
Doesn't he have another baby?
Yeah,
He's got like 2 or 3.
I don't think he would do that at this point in his life. He's with Taylor.
I think there's something also you have to consider is that you have like big time challenge threats in this game. Tori and Cory might be one of the more underrated competition threats. Like if you compare to like CT and Wes and Bananas, these two are really strong. And if you put them in a physical elimination, they're probably going to win.
Yeah, I mean, the only girl who I think is arguably more like looked at as a threat than Tori is maybe Lolo. So I feel like Tori's got to be one of the biggest targets on the girls' side. Though I do think Cory flies safely under the radar behind a few of the guys.
Yeah, actually, like looking at my list of all the duos, I do think that they're probably the strongest.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree that they're the strongest. Well, I don't know. I really didn't think about that.
I mean, I'm just like re-looking at, I don't know, we'll get to them all, I guess, because now I'm having like different thoughts than I did before Fan Guy started talking.
They're close to the top either way.
Yeah.
Tori is she's a puzzle master. So that's something you don't necessarily think about when it comes to her. But she's also a beast. Like, didn't she win the Hall Brawl against Jenny in Jenny's first season? And Jenny's no pushover.
Jenny's like the toughest girl, in my opinion, to ever do the challenge. So beating her at Hall Brawl says all you need to know about Tori.
Yep.
Okay, you might be changing my mind. Next up, well, there's quite a few, well, no, maybe not quite a few, but there are some irrelevant people on this cast that I don't even know. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Mechie? Is it Mechie?
Mechie. He's from Are You the One? He's the new rookie that I at least like watch. I watched that episode that season.
Well, that's good because I don't.
He's going to be the one to get the most kitty this challenge.
They did say in the 00 preview that he was like, he's not even here to play. He's just here for the girls.
He's here to smash. And it's not going to be smashing the competition.
Assume that's his reputation.
That's word on the street. That's what they say.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of a player in the.
That's what he said. That's what he said in one of his confessionals. Like, I'm here to play, but I'm also like here for,
He's going to be the new Kyle.
Yeah.
I hope not, because I have a lot to say about Kyle. Mechie is paired with Liv, who I also don't know. Does anybody know her?
Dude, I'm going to pull up these people's pictures. They're so forgettable.
Is she the blonde one that was crying?
I don't know.
No, this is an easy out. If the vets would have went after all rookie teams, this would have been another one they could have chose from.
Well, they don't have any of the new people on here.
Although they do seem athletic, maybe. But I mean, if his head's not in the game, then it ain't gonna last.
Oh, she's not either. Her head's not in the game either. I think she was brought on for the drama factor because that's all her cuts in the first episode were either her crying or her complaining about being a boss bitch or bougie. And
they say I don't even remember her in that episode.
Yeah, that's what she's about.
Olivia, okay. She had one-liner in this episode. I forget what it was. She made me crack up, but she was only like shown saying one thing.
What a shit team.
I agree 1,000%.
Nelson's hit or miss. Like he's really good at some stuff, and he's just really bad when it comes to stuff. But I mean, I kind of like Nelson. He can be a little chauvinistic, but I mean, I think he's a genuinely good dude. He's probably going to smash Amber this season, so I can see that happening for sure. But he's also, like Cory, he's well connected, and that's how he ends up getting so far.
Yeah, but he's only well connected because of Cory. Cory is the only thing that Nelson has going for his game because his mouth gets him in trouble every single season. He says some dumbass shit to somebody, and then he has to like.
But he survives. He survives
because Cory saves him every time. That's Cory's great social game.
Some of the shit he says is kind of real.
He has Fessy in his pocket too, so like you can't underestimate the Young Bucks just as a team. Like they are so social when they're combined, that it doesn't matter how bad they smart off, they can fix it within a couple hours.
Do you know Amber, Meg? Is she in that? Are you the one too?
I don't know her.
She's cute.
Is she British too?
No.
No. Let me just click on her.
She's Are You the One, season 8.
Oh wait, yeah, I did recognize her. I couldn't remember from
She's
where.
the little one.
Yeah, I think she's. Yeah, I remember her.
Pretty forgettable, honestly. Nelson's gonna have to carry that team politically, and
And I don't think he can.
lucky for him though, the format maybe favors that. If he
Yeah, you're right.
Who picked whom? Did Nelson pick her, or did she pick Nelson?
I think they were together by default because nobody picked either one of them.
I could see them getting split up in elimination and, you know, causing some trouble by picking somebody else's partner, especially Nelson.
I think he needs to do that. Next up, we have Theresa and Jay. I like both of them personally, but thoughts on Theresa and Jay? Meg's making a face.
I mean,
Theresa,
you and I just don't agree on
Anything.
I don't like
you.
I like
You should love this Theresa, because don't you hate Nany? Is that you who doesn't like Nany?
No, I don't hate Nany.
Well, maybe it's somebody else I know. But those two are at ends, so that's going to be a big issue this season. So that's something she has to try to avoid, and something Jay has to try to keep under control.
Before Vendettas, that was the last season I watched when it was Theresa versus Nany. So that's just kind of why I like Theresa, because I don't really like Nany myself.
Of course you don't.
Maybe it was you.
I don't like
Why don't you like Nany?
I don't like either of them, Nick.
Because she's, I don't know, she's worthless.
Yeah, but she's an OG. You have to keep
She
her.
is, but I mean, she hasn't accomplished anything by being an OG.
Exactly.
Teresa and Jay those two could be underrated as, you know, competition beasts also. As long as Jay doesn't come up against Rogan in a, you know, physical competition elimination, he should be good. And I haven't seen Teresa's last episode, but I think she's a pretty strong competitor.
She used to be at times. I mean, she was kind of a pussy at times too and didn't want to participate.
I don't really remember a whole lot about Theresa.
That's what I remember. I remember more what Nick remembers about Theresa, which is why I don't like Theresa. Nor I do like Jay though.
But she can go either way.
Yeah, I got to see her compete before I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt on the competition stuff. I do believe Jay's a competitor because Jay was a competitor on Survivor. Jay's always been a competitor. Jay showed his chops last season. So I'm more concerned about Theresa on this team. But I love Jay. Not as crazy about Theresa.
And yeah, I guess it has been at least, 10 seasons since Teresa's been on.
Yeah, she has 2 kids now, married.
And
yeah.
it's more difficult now than it was then. So I just got to see it to believe it. Like, I just got to see it to believe it with her.
Any last thoughts on this team? Because Jay graduated from being the rookie thrown in all the time.
I think they could go, you know, pretty far in the season.
I hope
I think he proved himself enough last time.
Next up, my least favorite team, Meg, Kyle and Nany. Thoughts on Kyle and Nany?
I mean, they're not high on my list. I would probably like hang out with Nany, but I think she's not a good game player.
But
I would like
her and Kyle, I mean, they use that to their advantage. Like, those two get drug along to the end because they are such crap players. And everybody knows they can beat them.
Kyle needs to go. This better be Kyle's last season.
I like Kyle's stupidity. There's something lovable about it. He's just so dumb that you can't.
I used to like him, but I feel like he's became another pointless person who just is there. Last season, he was just there, fan guy.
No, he was. I think he's a little bit underrated on the competitive side. I think he's shown some chops competitively in some of the endurance style events.
Yeah.
I actually remember vividly some endurance comps, particularly where he really has shown his chops.
Dude is strong as fuck too.
Yeah, the one where they had to load up the barrels and hold them up. You know, he did really good in that one. So I think he's underrated from a competitive standpoint. But I do agree with Days. I think him and Nany play kind of parallel games. They both just kind of skate along with their alliances. They don't really win.
Do you think that's why they teamed up with each other?
It's a good
I mean,
to go to the later rounds.
Their social games are probably one of the best, the two of them. Even with Nany being a hothead, if she can stay off the sauce, you know, she's relatively okay to be around. But those two, I mean, they work the crowd too, especially Kyle. I mean,
the skull twist is bad for them, though. The skull twist is very bad for them.
Yeah, because their main gameplay is to avoid elimination at all costs. You can't do that with the skulls. You have to go in.
I'm so glad they have the skulls again.
Me too.
I think that's a really good. I mean, for that exact reason. So then
it will work this time. It'll work this time too, because everybody's not just fed up and trying to get out of a shithole bunker.
Well, and he said how many skulls there are. Like last season, it was just there are skulls, and no one knew. Like, if you think that Wes would have volunteered to go against Bananas, if he didn't think that, you know, if he thought that there was another shot he was going to get, he probably would just wait and take another shot. The reason he threw himself in is because he didn't know how many skulls were left out. So I think that the fact that TJ's like, there are 10 skulls, everyone knows how many there are, you know the deadline, you know when you got to get them by. And I think that changes the game.
There's got to be more than 10, though. There's not just 10 eliminations.
I'm thinking you have to beat somebody that already has one to get one of the 5 skulls.
You can take theirs when you beat them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
For this team being such people that like to not or lay low, is it bad that they're together? Can that put a target on them since, you know, they both play the same game? You don't think so?
I don't think so, just because that is their game. Like, they're just connected enough to just kind of weasel by. And I think it's the only game they've ever played. It's the only game they know. And I think to expect anything else from them at this point would just be asking for a lot.
But do you think then people aren't going to vote them in because they don't even want to give them a shot at getting a red skull?
Isn't that what happened to Kyle last season?
Yeah, just use them as your like number or whatever until there's no skulls left, and then they can leave.
Yeah, they're layups.
And neither is Nany. Neither one of those, in my opinion, are layups and eliminations.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so either. I think
Either or.
Give them a chance to get a skull because like there is that possibility that they could get somebody out that they want to be there.
I think Kyle's good. Sorry.
Kyle's going to do the same thing he did last season where he waited and waited and waited and then campaigned at the very last time to get thrown in and almost didn't get put in.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. But what they need to do is to go after one of like the really weak teams, the completely teams we were already kind of talking about, of complete rookies that are probably not as good at challenges, and try to get their skulls from them. Because
like Liv and Mechie.
Yeah, exactly.
Lolo is a hothead, however. I remember her best from Celebrity Big Brother, the Superior Big Brother show days. Any thoughts on Lolo and Nam?
Don't want to be in elimination with either one of them.
He is the new Turbo. I'm calling it now.
Yeah, he looks
like it.
Fucking cut. Yeah, one of the previews, somebody was saying that he looks like he was cut from stone, and he absolutely does. The dude is just. I mean, what did he was on?
Ultimate Beastmaster. I was actually just about to ask. Does anybody know what that is? I don't know what
it is. It's like what's the other obstacle course?
American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, it's like that, except it's a lot dumber, and it's on like a bootleg.
What's the bootleg version of what you're saying?
Bootleg network.
But it's like a Ninja Warrior style, like that kind of athletic stuff.
You still have to have amazing athletic ability to be able to be on the show.
Obviously, this dude is not. He didn't order pizza like I did tonight.
Yeah.
That's not what he's about. So this team is fucking scary, man. This is the team that's going to need to throw themselves in, because no one, I think it's that kind of dynamic. No one's gonna be like,
they're gonna have to go in while they are the double agents. Like, they're gonna have to win and be in power, and they get to choose if they want to go.
That's what I mean. They're gonna need
or
to
they
throw
could be
themselves.
double agent vote to guarantee somebody else's dismissal.
Yeah.
Do what?
But the whole strategy going on, I guess that could be a reason.
If they get voted in by the House, the double agents, the best move that they would be able to make would be to put the strongest competitors against them.
No, that's what I mean. I don't think they'd be a House vote. I think they'd be a double agent vote after the House vote is made. And that would be an easy way to secure whoever the House voted in to go.
I could see that.
Do you want to put them in at all? Because you don't want to run a final with them.
Oh, no. I don't want to run a final with Lolo.
And you don't want to go in against elimination against them. So if you're the House, you don't want to vote them in, because if the 00 agents put you in, that's who the fuck you're going against. So no thank you. No thank you. That's 100% going to be either they need to be the 00 agents who put themselves in, or the 00 agents are going to put them in against like a CT if he survives, or somebody huge.
They're one of those that you have to squirt Visine in their drink the night before, so they have diarrhea during their elimination challenge, just so you have a one-up on them.
How many arguments is Lolo going to get in, though?
I hope every week.
I think an interesting thing to think about with Nam in particular is that you look at Fessy last season. Fessy was the best athlete in the House, but when it came down to the actual challenge at the end, which was like a particular type of athletics, Fessy was not the most dominant by a long shot. And I think my one concern about Nam, more so than Lolo, because I think Lolo knows what she's in for more than Nam does. And so I'm worried, some people that look like Nam, it's all, what do they call it?
Popcorn muscles.
Cosmetic muscle.
Oh.
And so I don't know if he, I got to see his endurance level before I'm convinced that he can do damage in a final.
If you compare him and Fessy, though, Fessy has him by like 40 pounds. Like, Nam is a big guy, but he's really lean. Like, Fessy is all muscle with, the extra juice on top of it. That dude's he was freaking tight end.
Is he your crush this season, Days?
No. Who was my crush last season? I forgot. I don't have one yet. I'm always fond of Wes.
There's no Jakes in this season?
Yeah. My crush would probably be like a Kam, Leroy, maybe Darrell.
My crush hadn't come up yet.
And Aneesa. I could crush on some Aneesa.
Another almost irrelevant team. I think I just don't like the UK people anymore. I'm tired of them.
I
actually like Big T as a personality, but like other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, but why does she keep coming back? She's the one
because they get paid.
Like she's there to take up a spot.
I think she tries. I think Big T
actually tried last season.
I just don't think I don't think this team's as irrelevant as the others we mentioned, simply because I think Big T actually might have a little bit of political pull, more so than the other pure rookie teams. So, but Homeboy was sleeping on the Homeboy was just sleeping on the couch. Like, come on, man. Like, you got all day to sleep. You're at the club with your people. Go socialize, man. Go make some friends. And God, come on.
I don't know about Joseph, but Big T kind of learned her political game from Wes and Bananas. Like, they kind of took her under their wing last season and tried to teach her the ropes, but she's just not. She doesn't have the physical capability to, win some of these competitions and eliminations. So, but maybe you never know. If she wouldn't have jumped off the bed when she was plastered last year, she might have actually made the final.
Yeah, I agree with that, I guess. Anybody watch America's Got Talent? Neither. So I don't know, Joseph.
I know he was a
Joseph,
motocross
Justin,
dude.
Jake, Josh.
Big T doesn't want to get stuck against Tori in
Big
the
T.
hall brawl. I'll tell you that.
He doesn't know him either.
Big T does not want to get put against Tori in the hall brawl.
Any thoughts on Devin and Nicole?
Probably two of the most hated people on this show.
They're gonna be messy.
Ah,
So messy.
And guy disagrees.
I don't get the Devin hate. I don't know, man. I like Devin. And I like Nicole. They're polar opposites, but I like them both.
Not like them. I just think they're messy players. They're always in a mess. Like they find themselves in messy situations, and now the two of them together, it's gonna be like a bigger mess.
Yeah, but without Bananas here, I think Devin is gonna be a little more reined in. Because
I could see that.
Yeah.
He's still a bootleg Bananas though. Like he tries to be on Bananas level, but he's not anywhere close. And then Nicole, she's physical, but she's not all there intelligently.
Don't give her a puzzle, man. Don't give her a puzzle, man.
He plays a good social game though, I think.
I agree.
Was it her and Cory that completely just fucked up the puzzle in the final? I think it was her and Cory. It might have been.
It was definitely her and someone.
Yeah.
Her voice.
I mean,
I can't with her voice.
Where's she from?
Boston.
Queens. Oh,
From Boston,
one of those.
or somewhere in New York.
Staten Island.
Maybe.
But this is a pretty good team. I think these are both people who can compete, especially in certain challenges that favor them. And they're both going to be good in certain elimination challenges that favor their style, too. I think this is a dark horse team.
Yeah, I think they might be underestimated as far as how well they'll do in challenges together.
I mean, Nicole's made finals. Was it not for the puzzle or her damn near breaking her ankle in the bogs of like South Wales or something like that, she probably could have won. I mean, she's physical.
Yeah.
And sure. Devin, I mean, I just don't like Devin.
There's always a puzzle in the final days.
Oh, absolutely.
I can see them fighting though, having to work together. I can see both of them wanting to like take the lead and not listening to each other and therefore getting in an argument and losing.
They are very opposites. They are very opposites in a lot of ways.
I did not watch. I've never seen season 26 through 30, so I don't even know most of Devin's seasons, fan guy. So why do you like Devin so much?
I think he's more strategic than people give him credit for. I think he kind of was trying to, he recognizes a lot of times that Bananas is the big threat and basically tries to rally soldiers to get Bananas. That's pretty much been his game for most of his seasons, generally speaking, is that him and Bananas are always at odds and ends and that he's rallying the soldiers because he knows that Bananas is a big threat. But I just think he's shrewd, and I think he's underrated competitively. I mean, he's not going to go into a hall brawl and beat Fessy or Cory or one of them huge guys, but I think his endurance is good. I think he's a smart player. I think he's one of the smartest players in the house. I'll say that, like, for sure. I think he's easily one of the smartest players in the house.
You don't think he could beat Cory?
It's possible. I don't know how big is Cory.
I think he would have a
just
chance.
Be jacked, but little jacked.
I mean, I think Cory's a comp beast, but I think Devin could surprise you and pull out a win.
In a hall brawl against Cory? Cory just looks more jacked.
Devin I mean, in a challenge like that, but I think that depending on the challenge.
No. Devin's got game in all other areas other than pure physical. He doesn't want to get into pole wrestling against Fessy either or somebody like that.
Yeah. I didn't even recognize Amber. And then my husband was like, oh, she was on Big Brother too. And I was like, oh, yeah. So forgettable.
Yeah, well, that's not the most exciting Big Brother season.
He was hooking up with the metrosexual cowboy, as I called him. And I don't even remember his name, but he was a metrosexual cowboy. He was a very...
Beast mode.
Yeah, beast mode cowboy. I called him metrosexual beast mode.
You must be talking about Amber.
Yeah.
Amber... She teamed up with Darrell.
Darrell's a beast, man.
Yeah. There's nothing else to say about that. I mean, Darrell is probably one of the most accomplished players in this game. Yeah, that dude is strong.
Certified legend. Certified legend.
Yeah. But he's old now, so I don't know.
She'll have Big Brother connections too.
She already does.
Hmm.
I don't know if the Big Brother connection is going to work out as well for her.
She's one of the weaker girls, I think, in the whole house. So,
Yeah, but I think like the more Big Brother players they have come on the show and then, you know, repeat come on the show, the more that Big Brother alliance is going to get stronger.
I agree with that.
but it's
I mean,
also the more it has time to meld in with the other people.
She's strictly a vote for them. That is it. Like, she brings nothing else to the table. If Darrell was smart, he would, you know, swap and get rid of her as soon as he can.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't remember her game in Big Brother. Was she any good at anything?
I don't know. I don't remember her at all.
No, she's what she's remembered for is being stalked by, is it Cody?
The cowboy.
Cowboy? What the fuck was his name?
Caleb.
He's
Yeah,
Caleb.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Did he be on Survivor as well?
Yeah,
Yes,
he went
was.
home on Survivor for what? Health reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second time.
Heat stroke.
Oh yeah.
But she wasn't memorable in Big Brother. Like, she did absolutely nothing. I don't know why they brought her on here.
Actually, she was supposed to be on this season of Big Brother. She was an alternate, but didn't get chosen. So she's on the Superior show.
Yeah.
Good thing she was on Big Brother.
She's attractive and she has a lot of Instagram followers. I'm sure that's probably why she's on the show.
I think it is a superior show, though. I'm going to concur with you, Nick. I think it's superior to Big Brother in a lot of ways.
They're different. You can't. They're two very different shows.
Big Brother needs to start adding spice.
They're just better produced. It's a better produced show, is what it is.
Well,
Talk
the
about
challenge is the challenge is TJ.
The challenge
Julie
also
with TJ.
The challenge also has all the money he has because they don't show anything else on TV, so they roll all the money into that, which makes it a better show.
Big Brother could still just use better producers, even though they just refuse to do so.
Add some new twists, add some new stuff, and the challenge keeps it fresh every season with new twists, new turns, new cool things, and I think that keeps the game fresh.
Maybe I'll kind of agree because I stopped watching Big Brother halfway through the season. I don't even know who won yet.
Well, we predicted it on day one, so anyway, they're both very small.
Gabby, yo, what's up, Gabby? Anyway, yeah, Gabby.
We found Guy's crush.
That's not even what I was expecting to say, but I'm looking at the cast pictures right here. And I'm just like, yeah, all right, Gabby. No, Gabby's like gonna go for like somebody like Fessy. Look all that now. I think that's who he's making out with in one of the little preview things. So that's his style. Yeah. He likes the small little blonde girls, just like he liked in Big Brother. So that's just his style. Gabby, I could see being one of the weaker females. I think she even talked about it in this episode about how she felt weak. I think her assessment's correct. She's probably a lot of these people don't really know what they're in for. Like, I could never apply to be on the challenge no matter how much I love the show because I just know physically I can't cut it. And I think a lot of these people don't really understand the physical requirements of the show. But Lio Rush, I'm a pro wrestling fan. That guy's for real physically.
I don't think that she's a personal trainer. I don't know how that, correlates to physical activity on the challenge.
I think he'll do well, though. I think this first time he proves himself in a competition or a challenge, people are going to bring him in.
You don't think he could be Jay? He already seems to be Jay. He's so small, and then he's already the target from, the vets.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him being that, like, easy rookie vote that keeps winning and coming back, and they just don't let up on him. But I think he'll find his way in.
This team's going to get thrown in soon. I do believe this team is going to find themselves in an elimination within the next probably 2 episodes.
Is my internet still shit?
It's better for now. You're good for now.
Oh, okay. I think they would win an elimination. I actually think they could pull out a win.
On a guy's day, probably.
Yeah. Next up is Ashley and CT. Kam was upset that CT didn't pick her. He picked Ashley. I don't know if
was so funny. He just like walked away. I was dying.
It was what he said right before he walked away. He's like,
says nothing.
It's like that James Harden meme where he goes,
well, first he was like, tell me why. Tell me why. And she answered him and he was like, oh, okay, bye.
Do you think Ashley was the better choice? I feel like it made them both targets, easy targets.
I mean, I think, look, they didn't know the dynamic of the team of the competitions was going to be single comps. They thought it was going to be team comps. So I understand their logic. They're like, yo, we're both legit competitors in almost every area. So I think
is CT still?
That's what I'm saying. I said the same thing to my husband. Why do people think that CT is like this huge competition beast threat now? Like he used to be, but I don't think CT is anymore.
I mean, he says he's in better shape now. He doesn't have the dad bod anymore, but I guess he'll have to prove it.
He's got the fatherly figure.
He's old now.
Yeah, I mean, still, there's certain competitions I wouldn't want to go up against him in.
He's also so experienced. I think he knows what to expect. Like he knows what a final looks and feels like. So he's not coming into this not knowing that. So if he says he's in shape for the long haul, I believe CT sheerly because of his experience. He knows more than most of the players what to expect.
I don't know why he didn't pick Kam though. I'd love to have Kam on my team.
Especially
I thought that would have been a smart move for him, honestly.
I thought so too. I thought Ashley was the dumber move.
I do love CT though. I love CT. He's one of my most favorite players.
We agree on something, Meg.
But I don't think it was a bad move. I just think it was the worst move of the two. Like Ashley's fine. Ashley's a competitor, man. Like don't sleep on her.
I can't stand her.
Oh, she's so annoying. Yeah.
She is. I hate her. I hate her with every fiber of my being. But she's a decent competitor.
Well, we'll talk about Kam next, who is teamed with Josh of all people.
That was a good move, honestly. Those two couples like splitting up and going with each other. I thought that was a really smart play.
Yeah, I agree.
It looks even better now that it's not necessarily both of them at once.
We can't hear everything you're saying, guys, but
we feel like we agree.
You can't hear me again?
You keep freezing up.
In and out, buddy.
But Josh, I just don't like Josh.
Me either.
Nobody likes Josh. Nobody likes Josh, but I think it is. I agree with Days. Days said it on point. Like because of the dynamic of the game, it works out even better. I think it may have not necessarily been the best decision for Kam because I think she's stronger competitively on the female side than Josh is probably on the male side. So I think it was kind of a mismatched team in terms of competitive prowess. But given the fact that it's like a swaparooski sort of season now, heck yeah, it's perfect. And now
she's strong, and he's got a good amount of connections, honestly, for somebody that's so disliked by the viewers. I mean, he's got the Big Brother people, and then he has Nany. Him and Nany are close.
He's got young bucks by Fessy because Fessy's a young buck and a Big Brother, so he's got them too.
Yeah.
Since I'm probably gonna shit on Josh all season, I will say one nice thing about Josh, that he is at least a team player, so I think that will help Kam in that respect. And he has a Big Brother connection, which is clearly the main storyline right now.
Good team. I just hope Leroy can get to the end. I really want to see him win a final.
I love Kaycee.
Leroy seems confident, so I'm going to believe him until he shows me otherwise because he's another one who's been to enough. He's been to the end enough to know what to expect. So if he's saying this is his last season, he's coming in the best shape of his life because he needs the win, I'm going to give him benefit of the doubt and say I believe him until he shows me otherwise. And Kaycee's a fucking animal. So this is a really strong team if Leroy's in the shape he claims to be.
I would love to see Leroy win. Or at least get to the final.
He's on my list of people I would like to see win as well. I'd like to see Jay win for some reason. Just call me crazy for that. Just because of what he went through last season, I thought was so bunk.
True. Any other thoughts on this team? They're kind of a boring team in my opinion, but I'll be nice.
Kaycee has the ability to start some drama.
Nah.
It looks like Leroy and Kam are this season's Paulie and Cara. Like they might be the big alliance.
They're trying to be.
Yeah, they might, they might work. You saw, because we got to see the votes in the double agent tent, and you saw the whole everybody voted the same way except for like one person. So I mean that says a lot.
I mean, she's thinking it was a smart move on her part. Like she wants to get to a final, and you can't do that with people like CT and Ashley in the game.
Next up, Wes and Natalie. They're practically it's very similar players, except Natalie's the better physical player.
I love this team.
I wasn't surprised by this matchup.
Wes is my favorite player for sure on the season. I love Wes. He's my favorite challenge player. So I love this team. I love everything.
This team reeks of pre-gaming. I just want to say that.
You think so?
Yeah, I could see it.
I mean, I think the challenge people pregame every season, though.
Yeah, did you not watch the first vote? How could they have been pre-gaming? Like, if they
were,
they did a good job of it.
Like
there was a random rumor that Natalie might be on the challenge after Winners at War. So I mean, it's possible.
I think Wes seeked her out and was like, "You're with me in this game."
Smart play, Wes. She's a hell of a competitor and she's a good player all around.
But can they avoid being the target this season?
It doesn't matter if they can go in and win an elimination every single time.
Exactly.
And Wes is going to be a competitor at anything, right? Like he is. Like he's not the best at anything, but he's always going to be one of the best at almost any challenge. And I think Natalie's going to be the exact same on the girls' side. So I just think this is a really, really, really strong team.
You don't think Wes is a competition beast?
Absolutely. I think he's easily one of the best dudes all around.
Okay. I'm just checking.
I think Wes's game's complete. That's why he's my favorite player. I think he's manipulative as shit. He's open about being manipulative as shit. I think it's gotten him kind of a bad rep. But I think Wes is loyal to the people he's loyal to. I do believe that.
They got a horrible start out of the gate, though. Like, if you have a starting line, they're like 10 yards behind it to start this game.
Once you're targeted, it's so easy just to keep targeting.
It seems to be the fate for first-time Survivor players. I don't think it's actually going to happen to Natalie, though.
No, because nobody wants to go in against her.
No.
Wes is sitting there while they're competing, going, "Show them why they don't want to play you." And it's true.
They are an easy pick for the double agents. Like every round, just keep tossing them in there.
Lastly, Fessy and Aneesa, who won the first challenge, surprisingly, kind of.
Underrated.
Overrated.
Both of them?
No, I think Fessy, especially after losing in the finals last season, I think Fessy's fucking ready this year. Fessy is one of my picks to go all the way because I think after losing that and realizing how he was getting outdone by all these people that were less athletic than him, he realized the kind of endurance and stuff he was going to need for the challenge. I think Fessy didn't want Aneesa to pick him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have either. Because Aneesa, yes, she won the first challenge, but I'm not a believer until
he's going to jump ship first chance he gets.
Yeah, I think this will be one of the first ship jumpers if it's a possibility.
Aneesa's how I would feel on the challenge.
I
Who
hate
wants
it
to
though.
run a final with me, or who wants to try to get saddled by this guy who can't run a mile? Sorry, man. Like, I love her though. I love her personality.
She's past her prime too. She's another one just past her prime.
But she's another one of those that I would say she's obviously better than Kyle, but she's one of those that you can count on her vote, but you can absolutely dump her right before the final, especially knowing you don't want to run with her.
Or take her to a final. Or take her to a final to run against her because she probably can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't done that.
I don't understand that either.
Right before.
She's one of the people that has the experience, but hasn't experienced the final, and therefore I think has no idea what's waiting out there.
Well, next we'll just talk about the Big Brother alliance, Meg. You think they're getting stronger? Why?
I don't know if they'll get stronger this season, but I think as the challenge continues to put previous Big Brother players on, they're going to become stronger. Because the challenge people are going to start, like, these OGs, they're going to start fading out, and then they're going to hold the majority.
I think this season, just with the first episode, has already kind of shown that. Like, the strategy has completely changed. Like, it's always been get the rookies out first, and everybody kind of has the mindset, get the winners out first. Let somebody else have a shot.
This mindset never seems to stick, though.
Kam and Leroy are the ones that brought that up about getting the winners out, and they're super smart to think that way. But the first thing I was trying just to jot things down, but Kaycee, I mean, immediately, like, first night out, you feel the need to sit down and have this conversation about, oh, Big Brother, we have to stick together. Like, chill. You all, I feel like, already know that, like, calm down. It's typical Kaycee move.
Are you talking about the conversation with Amber? I think there's more to it than just Strat or Big Brother talk there. That might be somebody that she can manipulate throughout the game. I think that's what she's thinking with Amber.
I mean, I don't really view Kaycee as a big manipulator.
Either.
I think Kaycee plays, and she makes decisions to make, but I don't see her as.
When I say manipulator, I mean manipulating through being a player like Kyle, using their.
Nany. I knew who you were talking about.
Well, no, like Nany and Bailey, but Kyle has that game where he flirts with the other attractive people in the house and uses it to his advantage to manipulate them and do what he wants them to do. That's the type of player I think Kaycee is.
Yeah, she pulled it with Nany last season. That's what I mean. She did that exact thing with Nany last season.
I think that's what she's doing with Amber.
My question is, though, Meg, is how fast does Joss fuck up this alliance? Because he's going to at some point.
Fast.
How many episodes?
3 weeks. 3 episodes from now. Episode 4. That's when it's all going down.
I hope not. I love Josh.
Why?
Oh, but love.
Just the chaos.
Strong
Like
word,
he's one of those chaotic players, like in Big Brother, Evil Dick, like just the sheer chaos.
No.
He doesn't have the strategy, though.
Thank you,
Nick. It doesn't matter. Just the sheer chaos of it. Some people thrive in it, and he did make it relatively far last season.
I don't think he thrives in it enough.
Chaos. He sinks himself in the chaos.
I think it shoots himself in the foot.
He makes enemies out of allies. Thank you, Nick. He makes enemies out of people that actually have his back in a game where most people really don't.
Fine. He reminds me of myself. Okay, is that what y'all wanted to hear?
But if we could talk about previews, there is a preview shown of him yelling at CT.
Of course there is. He yells at everybody.
So I think that's going to happen in the near future.
I would love to see CT just take him out.
That does tell us that CT's fate is still open in the game, because clearly CT goes back to the house. So that leaves us to wonder, did Natalie pick him over Wes? Maybe Wes is out. Are they both back at the house with some new dynamic? I don't know, but I'm
I
ready.
think probably
What
both.
happens if there's like an extra guy? So who's his
True.
teammate? Did they bring people in? Like maybe we will see bananas later down the road, or maybe we will,
Well, they have
I
an
would
extra
say if it
Gonna
wasn't
replace him?
COVID, I would say maybe not.
But
I think they're a free agent.
after the next elimination, there's going to be a free girl. So then there's a free team open.
I see.
I think
Oh, true.
if you don't have to go in, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you're not up for elimination the next round or something like that. Like that's one of the benefits of getting thrown in but not going home.
Yeah, but next week they'll eliminate a girl, and like Fan Guy was saying, there'll be an extra girl. So I bet they just push them and the extras into a new team together.
Mhm.
There's a lot of ways they could go with it.
Anything else you guys want to talk about from this episode before the ending?
I do want to say that they took their shot at CT, and that's a shot you don't want to miss. So that's going to be interesting going forward. He's going to have it out for everybody but Wes and Natalie.
I want to see him show up though. Like I want to see.
Yeah, me too. Especially after the last few seasons.
Dude, that challenge he lost to Jay, where it looked like he could have just walked in but didn't. Like it looked like his door was open enough for him just to squeeze through. And I mean, I don't know CT. Come on, CT.
Apparently, he was going through things. That was his excuse at the beginning.
He's going to make it relatively far, I think, because I'm pretty sure the preview showed him in the eating competition, unless that's like the next 1 or 2 episodes. But I'm pretty sure I saw him in that.
I hate the eating shows.
I love them. I would do horribly in them, but I love watching them.
Ugh.
I would do so bad in that one.
Except for like the old school one where they all had to eat the ice cream out of the bowl and they were like throwing up back in the bowl and still had to eat it. And that one I couldn't. I had to like look away from that one.
I don't like the eating. It's disgusting.
Well, in the end, Natalie does defeat Ashley and now can choose between Wes and CT. What is the better choice for her? Because everybody seems to be after her because she's teamed with Wes.
I think you stick with Wes. It's just too early to make those kind of moves.
Especially against a player like Wes.
I agree. Wes had her back in the challenge. He was cheering for her. You could tell he genuinely wanted her to win.
And like you said, Wes stays loyal to people that he's aligned with and people that he's loyal to. He is a good person to have on your side. He just puts a big target on you. But I think Natalie can handle that target.
Yeah, I think she has before.
Yeah, she's already dealt with that role. And she's smart enough to realize that now she's already been voted in. She's already somewhat of a target, but she also has a skull already. So I think one of 2 things is going to happen. Either her target's going to get even bigger, but I think people aren't necessarily going to want to play her. So I think Natalie's going to be safe for a good while.
Do you think everybody's going to be like scared now to put in, like go and make those moves after the strong players? Like they wanted to start the game out, but now that they kind of see how it can be played and you're only getting rid of one of them.
I mean, I feel like since they already took a shot at CT, they should again, since it's guys now.
They'll wait for, if they want to take a shot at Natalie, they'll have to wait for the double agents will have to throw her in on a girls' elimination, and it will have to be like a puzzle down in the crater.
Or Hall Brawl.
She's good at puzzles too, though.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Hall Brawl.
See, the Challenge and Big Brother are the 2 shows that you don't make big moves in the first couple eliminations because there are twists. Just wait. Just 2 weeks to see what happens.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because for me, the big deal is whether it's predictable or not about guys and girls weeks. Because I think if they can keep to the formula of it's going to be a girls week, guys week, then I think the game becomes a little more predictable. And I think the moves are going to be easier to make for players because they're going to be targeting players. But if production or whatever keeps them on their toes and doesn't necessarily follow a set back and forth pattern and mixes it up in some sort of fair but not predictable way, I think that'll be best for the season, because I think people are, at this point, they're gonna expect it to go clockwork, guy, girl, guy, girl. So at this point, the teams don't really matter because people know they're gonna be targeting this guy or this girl because it's gonna be that elimination. So I hope to see a lot of mix-ups that keep it fresh.
Yeah, but I think it'll still be flipped up enough with people being able to choose different partners, and then if you're teamed up with somebody that you maybe would have targeted, then do you throw challenges? Do you
Yeah, because if you get to choose somebody, you can choose to steal somebody that's on the opposite side of the house of you, just so they won't, throw those two people in. But TJ did say that this is one of the most unpredictable seasons, right? I think he said that. So maybe they do switch up the guy girl each week, and who knows?
If so, there's gonna be a lot of thrown competitions, strategically speaking and wisely, and that'll be awesome to see.
I just hope that in 4 weeks we're not saying, oh, the game's broken again. Production thought they got it right, but they totally screwed up again with the format. I hope we're not saying that.
You mean like Big Brother?
No, like last season with the Red Skulls, like 4 weeks in, we realized there was an issue with the format that there was a workaround.
I think
a lot of that
they're trying to keep it fresh. Let's be real. With any game, you can eventually figure the game out with enough times and repetitions. If the game doesn't evolve, like if you know what powers are available in a game, if you know that a game typically, has this or that. You guys are doing a podcast about sequester. Everybody was searching the house for this power that this season doesn't exist because they were playing the game that they thought they were playing. So as long as the game stays fresh, even if it's in small ways, I do agree with Meg. Like, it will be enough to keep this season fresh, but it's going to have to keep evolving, as I think every game does, in order to stop, because everything's predictable after a certain point. It all is.
Not predictable about the challenge, though, is the actual challenges. I mean, like, the thing that pisses me off about Survivor and Big Brother is it's the same competitions over and over and over again. They have little variations, but it's the same thing, right? Hold the bucket of water over your head for as long as you without dropping it. Like, the challenge, you never know what's going to be thrown at you.
The eliminations are kind of predictable. Like, there tends to be a set order of when they play certain competitions or eliminations. But the competitions are always new, it seems like, each year.
Well, I think they throw in, this last elimination, we've never seen this one before. But they always do the, like, pole wrestling, and they do the, like, charging at each other in that little tiny tunnel, which I would be so terrified to do.
Oh, Fessy's going to be in the hall brawl again. Yeah, you noticed that, right?
Is that what it is, hall brawl?
He was in the helmet.
Yeah.
I think that's him in the hall brawl.
And there's a very interesting preview where Cory, Fessy, and Tori are talking in a bedroom, and Tori just looks at him and goes, "They're going to put y'all against each other." Because one of them says, "You know what they're going to do?" And then Tori just interrupts and says, "They're going to put y'all against each other." And so I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that happen at some point.
Well, any final thoughts or predictions? I know Days loves to make predictions. So.
Hey, I want to point out my prediction for Online Survival came true. I said somebody would go home with the power in their pocket. And it happened. So I was right.
No predictions for this
challenge.
Predictions for the challenge. I know it's too early for that. And we really have no idea what the hell is going on at this point and how the game is actually going to work. We kind of understand, but
if it's the guys, do they take a shot at CT? And can't they, if he doesn't have a partner? I guess maybe that's a thing.
It'll come down to whether they can or not. At this point, I think they've already put themselves out there, especially if he finds out that everyone voted against him. Then, yeah, you just got to keep taking your shots and hope it's not you, and hope that somebody like, Jay pulls David versus Goliath like last year and takes CT out. So I think at that point it does become everyone's best strategy to go ahead and go after CT. But
Or do you think they're going to go after Wes?
I think CT has the ability to get his revenge on Leroy and Kam, but I think he could turn the tides on that. But I also think CT is smart enough to have a talk with Leroy and use that old school connection and, you know, kind
I think
of
that's the
save
better
himself.
thing because I don't know if CT can actually get the numbers right now.
I think him and Leroy could work together, and I think CT could pull that off. I think Wes is in trouble already. So
my prediction is going to be it's going to be the Kam Leroy alliance, which is also the Big Brother, I guess, alliance. But you got to realize, like, the Kam Leroy, Big Brother, Young Bucks are all very intertwined interpersonally with their relationships. So I think that big alliance is going to dominate at first. The alliance of the Big Brother team, the Young Bucks, and the Kam Leroy connection. That whole big massive voting block is going to run over the other players until it's just them left, and then each other group is.
Do you think they learned their lesson from this week, that it's too early to make those big moves and resort back to going after the rookies for a couple weeks?
I don't think so.
I don't think there was a lesson to begin.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it just showed that they have balls and they're willing to make big moves. The whole freaking everyone realizes that you have to look at the criteria of what the final is for any game you're playing. You need to be aware of that going into the final situation. In the challenge, the final is a very physical final. So guess what? You don't want to go to the final with the biggest physical threats. So maybe they're finally playing smart, and let's just take out all the biggest physical threats first, because that is the smartest thing to do. And I hope that's what they do, because I would rather see all the middling, lower competitors battle it out for a title.
You said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
I think,
That's
for me personally, though, I think that makes for a boring in-game if you get all the strong competitors out. I would hate to see that final of folks like Big T and Nany all running the final.
I mean,
I would
it'd be
hate to see
different.
that.
I would like to see it one season.
You got to figure out where Lolo and Nam fit into all that too, because my prediction to win the whole season, I'm going to say it right now, picking Lolo to take down the whole title. But I think she's going to have an interesting journey to get there, and it's one I couldn't even predict how she's going to have to do it because she's not in that big alliance. But I think if Lolo gets an early skull, people are going to be like, "Fuck that!" Like, and they're just going to kind of be like, "I don't want to."
I think she's a good contender. I could see her trying to team up with the like Big Brother.
She is a Big Brother alumni, technically.
Yeah, true.
Maybe Josh will try and bring her.
Rapper. Why did people not want to play with her? Like, she's an animal.
I feel like
Well, she
just not
likes to
very
argue.
nice.
Yeah, she's not. Her and Tamar on Celebrity Big Brother had an argument over nothing. Well, I got it ended there. I want to thank you all for joining me for this first episode. Hopefully I could do one next week. We'll see. I'll have to let you guys know about my schedule.